Okay, so welcome to the Reiju, August 2023. And I have to say, we've already had quite a chat around different themes and what we've noticed going on. And really, I think what came out from this is this idea that often when people are chatting with us or wanting, I don't know, it's kind of like the theme was around when people are talking to us and they're making stories, maybe they're complaining about something, maybe they're telling you a story about their childhood, maybe they're trauma dumping, frankly, maybe they're just needing to offload something. And I think for many of us, we have this feeling that we need to do something, we need to fix something, we need to give some kind of advice, we need to make them feel better. And the theme that was coming up for a couple of us was this idea of actually just holding space and pausing and thinking, okay, what's the underlying essential or essence of what this person is actually asking for? And oftentimes you'll come to the conclusion that all they're asking for actually is love, to feel that you love them, that you are there for them, you're listening, you're hearing them, you're accepting that what they're saying is true for them. And I think that's also important because sometimes they could be saying something, they could even be saying something that is a criticism of you, for example, but there is still this need to be heard. It's kind of like people just want to be heard, and there's a level of accepting their take on it or their opinion without having to agree on it. And I think sometimes when you can really hold space like that, it can be extremely powerful. And then, of course, there's the other aspect of dropping into yourself so that when you are considering old memories, old childhood trauma, old wrongs, that you feel, well, that was a wrong, I was done a wrong. And it can bring up a lot of emotion, and it can bring up a lot of story. He said, she said, this is what happened, this is my opinion, blah, blah, blah. But even underneath that, when you're telling stories to yourself, underneath that is simply a desire to be heard, to hear yourself, to acknowledge yourself, and to accept yourself as well. So I think this idea of self-love and appreciation is equally important. And if we can do it for ourselves, then it's much easier to do it for others. If we don't accept ourselves, it is actually really difficult to accept others because we're constantly in this dissonance. Whereas if we work on really accepting ourselves and our experiences exactly as they are, that this is what I've been through, that this is what it has been from my experience, without putting blame, it's just, this is the life experience, this is what's happened, then I think it's just a really helpful way of building more capacity when we deal with other people as well. So that was kind of a little summary of what we were chatting about before the recording went on. So the healing meditation today, we're just going to kind of see where it goes, really, because there wasn't really a very strong theme popping up. But it's always lovely to join in community and just do some healing together. And so with the Reiki attunement, we just bring our hands into Garsho like this, and you'll be just placing it around the heart center. And we just start off by paying attention to the body. So dropping into the breath, just feeling the breath, really, noticing the inhale, the exhale, without trying to change it, without trying to make it different. And if you can, you've got your feet on the floor, but if you're sitting cross-legged, that's also fine. And if you've got your feet on the floor, you just start to bring your attention all the way down to the feet, noticing the pressure of the floor. And for many of us, when we do this, you start to notice all kinds of energy, sensations, perhaps pressure. And then with the breath, you're just very gently bringing in the Reiki attunement. So that could be through the opening of the crown chakra, imagining 1,000-petaled lotus, very gently opening to the Reiki energy as it pours in through the crown into the heart center. And using the breath to pull it in, and with the exhale, you extend the Reiki all through the cells, down the arms, into the torso, down the legs. And it's as simple as that. You might notice the hands start to tingle. You might notice heat. Or you might just notice a feeling of calm. Using the out breath also to relax the body. Bringing focus around the face, relaxing the eyes, the cheeks, the jaw. All the way down the shoulders. Whenever you're ready, you can just drop your hands as well into your lap. So you can place your hands palm down onto your thighs. Or for some people, they quite like putting their hands on their belly, or one hand on the belly, one hand over the heart center. So just feeling into what feels good for you, or any other position. If you have any aches or pains in the body, you could place your hands over those areas for some extra healing. Just noticing the hands, any sensations. And continuing your journey, relaxing through the torso, the belly, all the way down the legs, into the feet. And if there are thoughts in the mind, busy, quiet, popping up every now and again, just imagine them to be like clouds in the sky, coming and going. No need to pay any attention, just allowing them to be exactly as they are. And the same for the body, even if the body feels quite tense, or you notice emotions like a little bit of anxiety or stress, there's absolutely no need to change it. But see if you can notice who's noticing. There's a part of you that's always awake, always aware, always watching. And that part of you is really undisturbed, whether you're emotional or calm, whether your body is agitated or relaxed, whether the mind is busy or quiet. That observing nature really doesn't care. It's just enjoying the presence. There's a certain stillness within the body, no matter what its state. And there's a little practice for self-love that is really interesting to play with. So just starting to scan the body for any sensation. Perhaps you notice sensations in your hands where they touch the body. Maybe you notice the feet are tingling where they touch the floor. Maybe you just have a little tingling somewhere in the body. And whatever that sensation is, see if you can bring some warmth to it. If you can notice warmth. And in that warmth, that tingling, is love. And just imagine that this sensation you feel is actually love. This is what love feels like when it is a sensation in the body. And as you consider this, notice what happens to the rest of the body. You may even notice the heart chakra opens or expands or changes. And just being with this. So if more sensations arise, if certain feelings of love arise, keeping curious and open, not trying to grab anything or think about anything, just following the sensations, the tinglings, the warmth. And every time it dissipates, that's fine. You just observe. Perhaps another area of the body starts to warm up. And as you notice it, you simply, in your mind, say love. Noticing what happens to love. Allowing yourself to bathe in this energy. It may be anywhere in the body, maybe even up in the mind, behind the eyes, in the shoulders. And as you look, you might become aware that love is hiding everywhere within the whole body, in the air you breathe, in the Reiki for sure. And consider the idea that when people say Reiki is love, they might well be talking about this sensation of tingling and warmth. Perhaps the definition is that simple, that easy. And you can check it out for yourself. Explore this possibility. And noticing how the body feels. And just scanning if there's any areas of the body. You might even notice certain parts of the body perhaps don't resonate with love or don't feel loved. Very gently just bring your attention up there, or down there, or in there. And imagining that you're breathing love in and breathing love out into all those cells, all those body parts, even areas of the mind or thinking patterns. Even if the thinking pattern is difficult, such as I'm unlovable, I'm unworthy. See what happens when you take that belief and you just breathe in love and acceptance. And it's okay if parts of your body are still feeling tight or tense or resisting. Simply to notice that, to accept it, to appreciate those areas of your body that might be having a hard time with self-love. And very gently deepening the breath. Starting to wiggle your fingers, your toes. Giving yourself a little stretch. Raising your arms above your head, giving yourself a little wiggle and a shake. And whenever you're ready, opening your eyes.